15 stakes races today in 4 different states, and the Hollindale of the Gold Coast is an absolute ripper. 2 Melbourne Cup winners plus Pride of Jenny.
But Akhenaten is the leader with 100 metres left to go, and Akhenaten will lead all the way and win the Doomben Cup. Into the night, and Private Steer from Tit for Tat and Felvalon, but Private Steer's grabbed the lead. The filly's home, she's racing away. Storm Hill is still the leader with 100 to go. Saxon can't pick him up, but here's Lachlan River, he can. Lachlan River after Storm Hill, but Tess Dane and Lords are leaping late. Lachlan River grabbed the lead. Lachlan River won the derby.
What an incredible jockey with a CV to match. So that's the Winter Carnival, Doomben 10,000 next week. And then we roll through Doomben, get to those derbies, and then the Stratty, of course, the prize, the jewel and the absolute crown. 8 Group 1s, more than $26 million in prize money through.
I mean, Winx is the ultimate, isn't it? Little Sunshine Coast Guineas into an Oaks and 25 Group 1s. Vow and Declare with that Tats Cup into the Melbourne Cup. And then straight away we think about the Caloundra Cup with Half Yours right down the bottom. Cups double, Knight's Choice and Without a Fight. But those suddenly the Caulfield Melbourne Cups, the key ingredient, you've got to run up in Queensland first.
And Sedelius right there as well, Richard. So it's an absolute...
Half Yours is drawing away. Half Yours, a famous win for Jamie Mellum and Team Max. She's a hustler up the line. Infantry Man goes home better. She's a hustler. Won the Zipping Classic. Birdman, Hands and Heels went to the front of Poulier and Banker's Choice run on. But Birdman is clear and Birdman wins it. And Warp Speed as well. Zardozi grabbed by Knight's Choice and Warp Speed coming at it. Knight's Choice, Warp Speed, they hit the line. It's a photo finish. Pride of Jenny. Stand up and cheer. This is going to be a famous win.
Yeah, the big stars in today's Hollindale Stakes. We've seen those that have won before, and look at those on the right that are aiming to put their name in the 2026 honour roll for the Hollindale Stakes. As we work towards the Goodwood, and the big local hope is Watch Me Win.
And he's your favourite at the moment, but Pride of Jenny, she always creates plenty of different opinions. So Half Yours at the moment is your favourite. Got into as short as $3 at one stage, now back out to $3.20. Pride of Jenny starting to close the gap now, $3.40 on the second line of betting. Good money for Birdman on Friday, but that's dried up now on race day. $5 into as short as $4.20, now back out to $4.40. She's a hustler, solid enough around that $5.50 quote. And then we go all the way out to Militarised. There's still a couple of punters that want to back Militarised, 17 into $15. But Half Yours, that holds the majority of the money here at $3.20. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on screen or visit the website.
Let's head into the yard for the Hollindale Stakes over the 1,800 metres. And the first horse, quite fittingly, we have a look at is Half Yours. Eye-catching performance in the All-Age Stakes. He was brilliant in a Caulfield and Melbourne Cup and returned in good style. You've got to remember he's done a lot of his racing in Queensland. He actually launched some of his winning career up there. Along with this guy, another Melbourne Cup winner, Knight's Choice. We see him first up into the preparation. He's had a setback. You would expect that he's going to need this run. He will improve significantly from this performance, and he's got a pretty big preparation ahead, but great to see him back at the races once again. Birdman, he's been racing consistently thus far. If you take away his Australian Cup run, you would have to say that he's one of the main chances in this race. He's also had the opportunity to absorb that Pride of Jenny tempo. James McDonald is in the saddle. Ben Mellum, his regular rider, is in South Australia, and he can certainly run well. Militarised, we heard from Nick Burney that there's a couple of punters still wanting to back this galloper. We know he's got the natural ability to do so. He's Richo's roughie. I would suspect it would be a big upset to see him win this race, but he can certainly run very well. And Pride of Jenny, she's had a pretty good preparation. You think about the way she was able to, was beaten narrowly in an Australian Cup, and then last time out we saw her run well in the Queen of the Turf by going a little too fast. How they ride her is going to be very important, and she's a hustler. Don't underestimate her. She hit the line strongly behind Idle Fly and can certainly run well. They are our runners for the Hollindale Stakes, an exciting contest coming up. A market mover.
Half Yours has been really well supported here, holding 40% of the trade. It is the tab time horse as well. With that said, Pride of Jenny will be your market mover. She's now into your $3.30 outright favourite. That's in the last 5 minutes. Some big bets rolling for her, Pride of Jenny.
Not surprising, really, to see Pride of Jenny become the market mover. Bruce, Richo, it's going to be how this race is run, and she always holds the key to any race that she's in.
And I think it's how she jumps, Lizzie and Richo, because she can miss it occasionally by about a half a length. Even the Queen of the Turf, she didn't get a great getaway. When she jumps well, it gets her into that rhythm very quickly. And then how fast does Declan go here? Now, the Gold Coast is going to suit her. We know that the Gold Coast track is going to suit her. The 1800 we've talked about being a really sweet spot for her. She's got the weight for age form. How good is Half Yours? That's what we're thinking about. A, is he 100% ready today? No. But B, he's freakish in a way. But look, I can see why they've come for Pride of Jenny.
Yeah, you certainly can, Bruce. That inside barrier is interesting because sometimes she can be a slower way when she draws inside, whereas outside, the beauty of outside barriers for her is she can make the ground when she's ready. If you bustle her early, that's when sometimes she can overdo it. So that's a bit, but Declan Bates knows her so well. What I love about Pride of Jenny being in race, it tests the other jockeys. It really tests their nous because they've got a balance between riding their horse in its comfort zone versus allowing her too much of a lead. It's a real test for all the other jocks.
I mean, they're the two big horses in so many ways, Half Yours and Pride of Jenny. Birdman, we shouldn't forget. He was favourite in the Australian Cup.
Yeah.
And he'd had a super run in. The 1800 is perfect for him.
And he rolled into that race in the Australian Cup as though he was going to win, and he probably didn't see it out.
So
maybe,
he might be 1800.
maybe this is absolute Goldilocks.
And Lizzie, I had a long talk to Sheila Laxon after Knight's Choice won the Melbourne Cup, and she told me a lot about the horse and said, Bruce, you've got no idea how good this horse is. We haven't seen the best of him. Now, he's only had the one run, Lizzie, since the Melbourne Cup, and he ran well at Moonee Valley that day. I mean, I'm not suggesting he can win, but I don't know about you, Lizzie, I'm just fascinated to see how he goes.
This is certainly a fascinating contest, and Knight's Choice is one of those fascinating runners. Nearly all locked and loaded for the Hollindale Stakes. It has been a great horses race in the past. Can Half Yours emulate what Might and Power was able to do, winning both Cups and a Hollindale?
Pride of Jenny, she's going to go off favourite. All in, set to run. Tab 80 Hollindale Stakes. Ready. Militarised had a dive at the gates. Gates are back, they're off and racing, and she left brilliantly, Pride of Jenny, straight to the front from She's a Hustler. Golden Path is going forward, Zoology very wide, looking for a spot. Knight's Choice not far away, Birdman settles down around midfield. Half Yours is a fraction wide of that first bend. They Miss Jolene, Militarised, and 2 lengths away, Kovalika going back to the tail. Pride of Jenny with an uncontested lead early, and Bates is allowed to let her go at the 1,300 metres mark, and she sooled forward to lead by 5 early. Golden Path in second, Zoology third, She's a Hustler fourth, and Knight's Choice is fifth. Further back to Birdman, Miss Jolene. Half Yours had to go back to third last to slot in one off of the outside of Militarised, and 2 lengths away, Kovalika going off the back. 900 metres left to run. Pride of Jenny, the best part of 16 lengths clear. Golden Path in second. Zoology, the bolter, third, the outside. 2 lengths away, Knight's Choice. She's a Hustler in fifth, and then follow Miss Jolene, Birdman. Half Yours is a mile back with Militarised and Kovalika. Declan Bates said, let's go, girl, at the 500 metres mark. Pride of Jenny comes up towards the Gold Coast home turn, leading by 12 lengths. She's a Hustler's about to run into second. Knight's Choice to third. Birdman, Half Yours gets to the outside, but it's Pride of Jenny clear. 300 metres left to run. She's 7 in front, but she's all out. Birdman runs to second, then She's a Hustler. Pride of Jenny, 125 left to run. 3 lengths clear, 2 lengths clear. Birdman's coming out after her. Pride of Jenny's gripping on. Declan's done it all of the way. Pride of Jenny wins the Hollindale Stakes. Second in Birdman, and third She's a Hustler. Fourth at Canberra, Half Yours, Kovalika or Militarised. Further back to Knight's Choice. Then came Golden Path, Miss Jolene, Zoology. Take a bow, Jenny.
And great call, Mitch Manners. Lizzie, you're at Gosford. I don't know what the cheer was like there, but at Morphettville here, it was a Goodwood cheer for Pride of Jenny. They're going to shout the bar. Richo and I are getting on the next plane out of here. Lizzie, we're never going to forget that, are we? How good was that?
Oh, incredible, Bruce. She is just a horse of a lifetime. She's a horse of a lifetime for many reasons, because she just creates so much interest. There was a loud cheer here at Gosford. You could see she was on her legs, but you know what she did? She had to get these horses behind her chasing. So even though she's really tired, these other gallopers are making long sustained runs, and that just takes the petrol out of their tanks. They can't finish off. You cannot. It's absolutely impossible for a horse, unless you're Winx, to make this long sustained run from back in the field. And yes, she was tired, she was on tired legs, but Birdman was never going to beat her. You could see he was finding the line. He peaked at his run probably about here, and anyway, it was all too late. Great performance there. I have to dissect the race, because really I was watching only one horse, and that was Pride of Jenny.
Here. Couldn't agree more.
On,
I mean, wow, oh wow.
Keep going, Jenny!
Well, here we are. We're all wanting her to win. Oh, you got to love it, don't you?
Oh, it's fantastic, Macca. It is so good. Come on, Jenny. Come on, Jenny.
Up in Queensland at the Gold Coast in the Hollindale. Well, remarkable scenes. Queen Elizabeth revisited in some ways with the big lead by Pride of Jenny.
It was incredible, wasn't it? Declan Bates asking her for the absolute best, and he loved it across the line. Birdman flashed late to run second, but it was all about Kira Maher and Declan Bates and the Australian Horse of the Year.
And speaking of Kieran, let's hear from him after the great win.
Her story is just so extraordinary, and how do you keep her going, you know, at this stage of her career?
Well, I was mindful that she had 3 very tough runs, and just given how well she went first up, I just thought that probably the only thing you can do is overtrain her, and we just kept her ticking over. She's here with my brother, and she's been at Bong Bong Farm, so 2 pretty nice establishments, and yeah, look, they've all done a great job. They've all played a good hand, but we've just kept her fresh. And when she stepped well, I thought, you know pretty quick whether you're on, and I thought, whoa, that was nice. And I thought we might be on today. And track, you would think the Gold Coast would suit her.